Hi, in this video we're going to talk about how to get the maximum benefit from your membership and the need to know community. First, a quick overview of what the community is all about. The community has a lot of different kinds of people in it. There are businesses, organizations, event planners, individuals, service providers, venues, and speakers. So the community is actually very diverse. The community is really generally divided into two types of members, standard members and vendor members. Vendor members must be approved by the community owner. All members can build a company profile and list the services that you offer, but only vendor members can actually receive requests for quotes when somebody provides a request through the quote engine. So let's start by reviewing how to list the services that you offer. When you initially log in, you're going to see a pop-up with three options. Click the I Sell Services option, and you'll see a screen that comes up that looks like this. You should list services really generally the same way that you would expect your audience to search for you on Google. Speaking topics or presentation titles are actually considered services the way this works. So here's an example. If someone needed a speaker on the topic of sales improvement, they might type any of the following: sales improvement, sales motivation, improving sales, motivating salespeople, speaker training, motivational speaking, business sales tips, how to perform sales, improve sales performance. I mean, they might type any one of those kinds of things. So you're going to need to list your services in such a fashion that it's likely that people will type one or more of the words that are applicable into the system. So go ahead and do that. Now, as you're completing the list of the services that you offer, just know that you're limited to listing 5 services for free. If you want to list more than 5 services, you can pay a fee of 1,000 tokens, and you can earn tokens a variety of ways. There's surveys that you can answer. You can join communities. You can invite people to create accounts. You earn tokens every time you log into your account. You can learn more about tokens by activating the Rocket Tokens panel on your dashboard and then watching that video tutorial. But if you'll look here at this screen, this indicates that as you're typing in the next listing, the 6th listing that you type, it gives you a little red or pink notification that says you've reached your maximum of 5, and you can see the 5 in the green space down below. If you want to list additional services, you can click on the Click Here link in the pink area and then just pay the 1,000 tokens to continue listing. Now, you also are going to want to update your company profile, and since this will be the first time that you've done this, you're actually adding your company profile to the system. So when you click on the blue Add Update Company Info, a screen that will look like this will pop up, and go ahead and fill in all of the information. Now, all of the information is required to complete and save, except for the logo. You don't have to load the logo up this time, but you really should. Now, once you've done that and you come back and go through this process again, you'll see the information that you've added along with a logo. And I've just added a picture of a soccer ball here so that you could see what that would look like. Okay, so that gets your information listed in the system. Now, if you're a speaker and you're going to be found by people that are looking for you, they're going to use the RFQ engine. And the RFQ engine is going to basically match a request that has been received on, say, the topic of motivating salespeople. They're going to match it with all of the speakers that have listed something with the word sales in it as one of the services or the topics that they speak on, one of the areas of information that they speak on. Now, I'm going to provide this process flow list of what the process is going to look like, and then I'm going to show you the essential steps. The first thing is that somebody wants to make a request, so they're the requester, and they create a quote request or an RFQ, a request for quote, using the quote engine. The speaker then receives the RFQ and a profile of the person making the request, and then they review the RFQ and the profile and decide whether or not they want to purchase or unlock the lead contact information. If they do, then they pay the fee, and then they can see the contact information for the requester, and then they send a quote out to the requester. And they do that send that quote either by email or they simply call the person that made the request. And then last but not least, the speaker would provide feedback on the requester, as well as the requester will ultimately have a chance to provide feedback on the speaker. So let's step through the process. Okay, so when somebody wants a quote request, they're going to answer 5 questions. How soon or how often will they need the service? How soon will they need the service? Is the service for business, individual, or some other type of entity? They're going to describe the service that they need, and then they're going to tell the system what kind of price they expect to pay for the service. So to do that, they click on the Request a Quote button, and they then start the process here. So now, anytime a member, when you can see the picture of myself, Lee Thurburn, kind of in the background there, anytime a member is visiting or on a community page, and you can see that I'm on the Need to Know community page kind of in the background, they have the ability to click on a Request a Quote or get a quote button. And when they do, this screen will pop up, and it'll be dressed differently for each community. What you're going to do is you're going to type the service that you're looking for in the white box, and as you do so, you're going to see as you start typing, the list of services that match will start to show up. So in this case, you see I'm typing the word sales, and things like improving sales and motivating sales people and sales improvement and sales motivation and sales training. Anytime the word sales is in one of the services, or in this case their speaker topics, it'll show up. So what you do then is, in this case, I click on sales training, and that takes me to the first step in the quote request process. And here I'm answering the question of how often will I need the service. And so I go ahead and select one of the answers, and then I move on to the next page where it asks me when will I need this service. And so I give an answer, and as I answer these questions, I'm getting paid 200 rocket tokens for making these, for filling out these answers. And so then I'm answering the question of what kind of entity is the service for, and then I'm filling in a description of what I need from the service provider. And then finally, the last step, I'm filling in the answer to how much do I expect to pay for this service. So I go ahead and complete that. And then a notification is going to be sent out to every speaker that has a sales related topic in their list of services or topics that they provide. And so the speaker is going to receive an email, they're going to receive a text message, and they're going to be able to log into their account and go look at the list of leads. So if they get an email, they'll have a link they can click on that'll take them to a quote and profile page where they can purchase. They can do this from their phone, whether it's an email or a text message, and then again they can log in. So if you're logging into your account, this is what it'll look like. You'll log into your account, which is kind of what you'll see in the left column, and then you'll go down to the leads program and you'll click there, and that'll open the dashboard, the left-hand menu for the leads program. And you can see under that one of the choices will be all leads. And then when you look at the all leads, you'll see probably at the top or near the top, the most recent lead that's come in will be the one that you were notified of, and in this case it'll say sales training. So you click on that link, and that'll take you to the detail page on the lead. So in the first column on the detail page, you'll see the RFQ details as they were input by the person making the request. In the second column, you'll see the information, the profile information about the person that was making the request, but you will not see their contact information yet. And then in the third column, you'll see a button that you can click on to purchase the contact information so that you can go ahead and respond. Now you review the lead RFQ details, and you review the personal information about the person making the request. And after you've looked at that, if you decide that this represents a reasonable prospect for you, then you go ahead and click on the purchase button. And when you do that, you'll get an initial pop-up that will give you the opportunity. Now we use Stripe as the payment processor, so you'll get a pop-up where you can click on and go to pay with a card through Stripe, and then an overlay will come up where you can actually insert your email and your card information, and then you click the pay button, and that'll actually complete the process and then take you back to the page where you were previously looking at the lead details. Now I've zoomed in a little bit, and once you've purchased, you'll actually see that the full name, the phone number, and the email of the person who requested the quote will be unlocked. And you'll see in the right hand column there'll be a seller feedback option where you can provide some information. And please be sure and after a reasonable period of time, come back and tell the system whether the lead responded to your email promptly, to your phone call promptly. Were they professional? Did they make a purchase? And then put in any kind of comments that you want to about your experience with this person making the request, because we want to build a feedback profile for you and future lead purchasers. Now, not only can you provide, as the seller, feedback on the buyer, but they can also provide feedback on you, and we ask them to do the same thing. So in addition to unlocking the information, that information goes into your CRM in your account, so it gets added to your database. So you'll be able to just go to your CRM and see the contact information for this person making the request, and you'll also be able to go into the leads program and look on purchased leads, and you'll be able to see a list of the leads that you've already purchased, and you can click on the lead or any of the leads that you've purchased, and you can see the details of that lead at any point in time. Now, after you've unlocked the information, you just simply either call or email the person and provide a quote. You may need additional information to be able to actually provide the quote, and if that's the case, just give them a call and get that information and arrange to get back to them or give them a quote, whatever you want to. Remember that buyers provide feedback on sellers, and sellers provide feedback and rate buyers. Your feedback is important, so we ask you to be sure and do that. Now, also know that once you have built a profile of yourself in the system, whenever you join another community as a vendor, in your case as a speaker, when you join another community as a vendor, you will be able to automatically have your information available to that community as well. I hope this has helped, and good luck on finding some opportunities with the need to know community.